What's going on YouTube? Christian here, working on this beautiful 8,000 kilowatt Generac generator, Guardian series, with an no-start issue. Can anybody figure it out? I'm just kidding. So guys, if you're watching this video, you're having an issue with your Generac home standby power with a no-start. This, for me, was a pretty complex issue. The engine was backfiring, trying to start. So it could have been any number of things, but just going to cut it right to the chase, because if you guys are watching this, not to waste your time, I had internal engine failure. So I'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to show you what mine was doing. So as I was diagnosing this engine, this being your intake, and on your intake coming through your liquid propane or your natural gas would come down, feed your engine, and then you get intake, compression, ignition, and exhaust. While mine, when it was coming in to suck it, the piston was just pumping everything right back out. So you could see it just pushing it as it's trying to ignite. So I would never get ignition and would never have started. So at that point I knew I had a timing issue, or it could have been bent valves, or could have been bent push rod. But for me, it was a timing issue. So let me show you. As we move on to the engine, great quality from Generac. There's our balancer shaft. There's our camshaft, which all checks out. All the engine inside's all good. Connecting rod, piston, cylinder head, push rods, and we move on to the big culprit, the crankshaft. So if we look at the crankshaft, if we can get a good angle, we can see our timing mark for the balancer shaft, and right down here is the timing mark for the camshaft. And if you look at the gear, it's all worn and discolored, and then to the touch here it's pretty rough. So yeah, that's the problem on this one. The camshaft gear rotated on the crankshaft. I don't know how, and I'll never be able to tell you why. If it was just internal failure or man-made by the person who owned this thing, trying to pry on it, diagnosing it, I don't know. But yeah, so if we look at the brand new part, here's our mark. And then here is the mark that's at the proper location. So yeah, with that information and a 180-degree difference, I know that was the fail part. So I'll be putting that back together, and hopefully I'll have a video up for that as well. And yeah, hopefully this helps somebody on YouTube. I'm not very good at making videos, as you guys can see. Pardon my French if I'm making mistakes too. Much better at talking French and English, but yeah. If you guys have an issue with a Generac 8,000 kilowatt engine, this is the video for you, for showing you my fault on this one. Probably will happen to somebody else. And yeah, I'm doing this for you guys, and pretty much my father-in-law motivated me to do these because he's a big YouTube guy and he believes in fixing things himself and watching YouTube all the time. So yeah, Pierre, this one's for you. All right, I gotta get back to work. I gotta put this thing back together. Thank you very much for watching, and follow my channel if you want to see this thing back up and running. Bye for now.